Our gifted children are encouraged to develop leadership qualities, to devote their abilities to worthwhile activities, to use their talents for the common good, to become the moral as well as the intellectual leaders of the future.
Hi, I'm that sensitive... Hi!
It's not even heard it yet.
You're already laughing. Hi, I'm that sense of shame you feel when you're looking for your glasses and realize they're on your face. Awesome. Aren't I just?
And I'm that couch in the drama room that's starting to sag a little bit suspiciously. Chrissu.
Welcome to Clamcast.
The show where we talk about nothing at all.
And you can't stop us.
I don't know about your drama room, but I feel like it's like a universal constant that the drama room in your high school has to have a couch in it, or several couches. It's like the only room in the high school that's allowed to be like a little bit cool.
My high school didn't have a drama room, and that's part of why I didn't receive enough love as a teenager. Frankly.
Wow, we're getting right into it. Okay.
You're getting right into it. My high school didn't have a drama club, but I did do drama at the university.
We didn't. Well, it wasn't a drama club. It was like a class. Like drama was a was a class you could take.
You know, we did have a drama class, and the only reason anyone took it was because it was a really easy French credit.
Oh, it counted as a French credit.
Yeah, because we had a French immersion program in the high school that I went to, which I was in, and I don't think we had a couch though.
Well,
I remember we did have to get up and walk around the room a whole ton, and there was our teacher didn't really speak French well at all, which is a common theme.
A French immersion course, a French immersion program where people don't speak French.
Yeah, welcome to the Maritimes. And there was this one girl who was in our drama class, and she was a bit of a mess. I remember she was
every girl in your drama class is a bit of a mess.
Oh, this girl's like especially a mess. She was I don't know if you've met the type of diabetic person who is like really in denial about the fact that they have diabetes, and they just like won't stop. Going into comas.
Don't those people die? You can't be in denial about diabetes for very long, can you?
She was... I don't know. She was a mess.
Did you just casually say keep going into comas?
She basically would just fall asleep sometimes. Her friends would know how to check her little...
And she hasn't woken up since, and we don't look back, you know. She's been asleep in that drama room ever since. Some say that if she ever wakes up, the whole world will end.
Yeah. If she had too much power, we had to put her to sleep on the drama couch. Anyway, so she was francophone, and she had come to our high school from the one French high school in the area on the island, and so the teacher would keep getting her to translate things, but her French was actually really bad. This girl didn't know how to spell. So,
yeah, that's a funny thing.
That was my drama class experience.
You always, if you're someone who doesn't speak a language, so, let's say French, you always assume that someone who does speak French is obviously going to be better at French than you are. But there are illiterate people in every language, which is...
Exactly.
a great equalizer, I guess. You could be illiterate... You could be Jared and never fucking learn how to read.
You could just never learn how to read.
Just never fucking learn how to read, no matter what language you speak.
Exactly.
And that's aspirational.
I feel like one of the reasons she had to leave actual French high school is because she was so bad at being French that she had to come to our school and just be in French immersion instead, where she was allowed to fuck up.
Where the curve was a bit more generous.
Yeah, basically. I don't even remember this girl's name, but that's my story about her.
Drama also had the reputation of being an easy course in high school because it was quote unquote, you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Which is not true. And our drama teacher was the most wonderful woman. Her name was Sue.
Of course it was.
And she was a super talented actress and really passionate about theater. And it was painful sometimes because there were obviously people in that course who didn't want to be there, and they took it because it was a bird course. Yeah. And those were the people who ended up doing tech stuff, like lighting and things like that. She would always find something for them to do. And we were very fortunate because our school had the community theater in it. Like the community, like the community theater for my whole town, like the biggest theater in town was part of my high school. So we had like
That's
a
so cool.
fully equipped theater at our disposal for people to learn stuff on. So like we sent the people who didn't want to do stuff up to the lighting booth. And then me, as Supreme Gay, I got to do costumes. Or rather, I declared that I was doing costume.
I am on costume.
Because I didn't...
said to a room of no one.
Because when I was in high school, I was still pretty shy. Not a huge fan of public speaking yet. Although I loved to live theatrically in everyday life. It took a lot of convincing for me to actually get up on stage. But I did get to be the lead role in the play we did in grade 11 or 12. I can't remember. We did the lottery, which I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have read because it's one of those things that...
short story?
There's a play version, but yeah, the short story where like someone gets stoned to death at the end.
Yes.
So I played the like husband whose wife gets stoned to death at the end.
Oh, wow.
And part of our staging of this was she runs into the audience and we run after her and drag her physically back on stage to stone her to death.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that was fun. And
it's funny.
I got to be that guy.
Ahead. Good.
Yeah, I got
to
play straight and I was
proud of you.
It was not convincing.
I bet it wasn't. I bet it wasn't. It's funny that you were shy and not really into being on stage, because I was someone who was shy but like really liked being on stage.
A lot of people are like that. A lot of people have that, like you put them on stage and they flourish. It's like,
yeah, well, it's like you have a guide. You're playing a role, so you're not you anyway. So
yeah.
it's like doing social things but with a guidebook, which is very soothing.
God.
Yeah.
I like socializing, but only when there are rules.
Basically, that's literally why I was able to be a teacher with like crippling social anxiety. I was in charge, and there were certain things I had to do.
The boys were glad to see the girls learning how to make those pies in homemaking class.
Did you have fun in high school? Were you a happy teenager?
No, not at all.
Me neither.
Well, see, it's funny. Like I did and I didn't. there was a lot of stuff that I did in high school that was fun. Yeah, most of the things I did were not related to... I think all the things I did that were fun were not related to being in high school. And the other thing is that, and don't do this at home, kids, but I didn't go to high school very often.
See, I was an excellent student.
I was that kid who like began her life as a really, really excellent student. I was never studious, but I was the type of person who just like listened in class really well and like got it.
Yeah.
And I test well. I'm good at writing. I was so good at reading at an early age, they actually took me out of class to teach other people to read, which is probably part of why I'm really bad at math, because I missed like actual class time to like teach other students, which wasn't cool. And like they were gonna skip me through a bunch of grades in elementary school. My parents said no because they didn't want to like make my social life difficult.
Mine did that too.
Not knowing that my social life was already difficult.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it
made a difference.
The only thing I would have not been in the same grade as my best friend, which probably at that point would have actually been crushing for me. But like, really apart from my best friend, I had no social life. So my parents were like, we didn't want you to like feel awkward around the other kids, and I was like. How
bold of you to think uncomfortable.
Yeah, God.
Yeah.
I was, yeah.
And then, like, going into junior high, I was still a pretty okay student. And I pretty much enjoyed being there. I was in a French immersion school, but we were kind of the fuck-up class because there was the English stream and there was the French stream, and there was the band stream and the not band stream.
Like band? Like musical band?
Yeah, like musical band. Like the junior high
there was
I went to was like
whole stream
famed.
for band?
Yeah, so like for example, so where I grew up, junior high is grades 7, 8, and 9.
Okay.
Yeah. And the school I went to was like very renowned for its band
Wow.
And they would go on tours and all this junk. Yeah, it was a big deal. I don't know how actually good they were, but like at the time, like being on the island, people were like, wow, the band, it's incredible.
Did your band
So-
also have the reputation for the people in it being, like, irreconcilably horny? Because,
Yes,
like, okay, I was
absolutely.
going to say, because I'm 99% sure that if you are in band, it's, like, you're contractually obligated to be, like, so horny that your skin is, like, sloughing off. Like,
Yeah, like, especially if you're in jazz band. If you're in jazz band, like, you're literally already in hell for your sins.
yeah.
So, yeah. So my school, like, there would be, like, grade 7, let's say 7A through, I think G was the last one, because I was 7G. So because we were in French immersion and not in band, we were always the last class. And so, like, we were, like, a funny blend of weirdos because we weren't, like, I don't know, driven or something enough to be in band, but we were something enough to be in French. So
You were just ambitious enough to not be completely boring.
yeah, exactly. So I feel like this time for me was very formative in becoming an, like, incomprehensible human being, because everyone else, and because we were like this very specific set of people, we spent the 3 years together in the same class, whereas in the other classes, like, the English stream would get kind of mixed up, the English band stream and the French band stream would kind of get mixed up in different classes every year, but we were in this for life for 3 years. So, like, I had a pretty good time with that, honestly, and, like, it was the kind of school where, like, the teachers were all very funny, very interesting, real characters.
Yeah, I had a lot of like real characters for teachers in high school.
We had this one in junior high. Her name was Mademoiselle Robinson. And we counted once, she had about 80 different pairs of shoes.
Oh my god, I love her.
She was incredible. She taught history. And she used to, like, act stuff out. And this is all in French, right? And she's not a French person. I think one of my teachers in French immersion was French, and she was Acadian. So it was, like, you know.
No offense to anybody who's listening who's Acadian, but it's not my favorite French accent. I will just say that.
I, like, love it, but, like, she didn't speak Acadian French when she was teaching us for a reason. So, yeah, she would, like, act out, like the war of, like on the plains of Abraham and all of this stuff. It was all Canadian history, right?
You know, God bless high school teachers like this.
Yeah,
because you're dealing with teenagers who typically don't want to care about things.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, honestly, I still remember so much about, like, the names of various forts at the time, and, like, when the British invaded and when the French invaded and all this stuff. And then I had another teacher who I nicknamed very successfully, and I found out that as of at least a couple of years ago, she still has the same nickname. Her name was Madame Brown Holland.
Okay.
So because we were in French immersion, I decided that her name was Madame Brun Pays-Bas. And it stuck. Apparently people still call her this.
Wow.
Right? I left a legacy.
That is you and nicknames.
Me and nicknames. It's like one of my it's one of my
it's your
talents.
legacy.
Yeah. The one other teacher who bears mentioning, I actually don't remember her real name. It was Mademoiselle, I don't know, Mix something probably. And everyone called her Mill, because one day one of the students from the English stream came to the door and knocked on it.
And it
was
would
like,
say Mademoiselle.
Exactly. So he was like, they were reading off a paper and they were like, is like Mill McNeil here?
Mill McNeil.
Instead of Mademoiselle. So her name became Mill and everyone called her Mill. So, yeah. Characters.
When I was a pupil, we went to grade 8 and then on to high school. Why is there an in-between school today?
We didn't have junior high. I went straight from grade 8 to grade like elementary school, where I had been for 10 years with the same 11 people.
Long. Like, being 14 or like 13 and being
13.
with like 5-year-olds is like, I don't know.
4-year-olds.
Oh,
Like junior kindergarten. So they were 4 and 5, and then grade 1 you were 6. So 4-year-olds. I was with the same people 10 years.
That's bonkers.
Junior kindergarten to grade 8.
Wow.
In junior kindergarten you were there in the morning, and in senior kindergarten you were there in the afternoon. It's a half day.
Okay, that makes
kind
sense.
of situation.
Yeah.
So I went straight from elementary school to high school, And I only did one cool thing, I think. Well, it's not cool, actually. I was not cool. No. I was, like, incredibly uncool in high school. Yeah. The only thing I think I could say that made me even a little bit cool was the fact that I was good at art.
Okay.
But I don't even know if art's cool.
It's not
cool.
At least back then, no one cared. Maybe these days people think it's cool, but...
Maybe, I don't know. And I wasn't, like, my two best friends in high school, we were, like, the three of us were, like, the best at art in our cohort. But we weren't, like, sometimes people are good at art in high school and they, like, it's, like, they've got an aesthetic. Mm-hmm. They're, like, they're artists. Mm-hmm, and they, like, I didn't really realize that I liked wearing black at the time. So, like, I didn't look like an artist. I wore so many bright colors because I was, like, out of the closet. Mm-hmm. So we were the three who were best at art and we didn't look it. That's not true, actually. Like, my best friend Steph, she had a very, like, kooky way of dressing, and it was very, like, she looked like an art teacher, kind of.
Oh, God, we gotta talk about how we dressed in high school next?
Oh, yeah. It's part of this journey.
It's part of this journey.
If you want to be an important part of your own age, you have to be able to keep up with it. Or, if you can, keep ahead of it.
There's no doubt but what we need trained scientists.
The only thing that I think is cool that I did in high school, which is not cool, is I was on the Envirothon team, which is...
Oh my god.
Which is a academic competition.
Oh no.
Based on environmental science.
Oh no.
Where you go on field trips. So the cool thing was you got to go on field trips throughout the year, and then at the end of the year, the regional competition took place at a summer camp called Camp Wakanda.
Wakanda?
Not Wakanda.
Wakanda forever?
Not Wakanda of Marvel Cinematic Universe fame.
Oh my god, you went to Wakanda Black Panther?
I went to Wakanda Black Panther. So it was cool. We got to sleep in cabins, and we were there for like the whole weekend. Oh, and the competition had 5 subjects. There was forestry, wetlands, wildlife, soils, and then the 5th one was like a special topic that changed every year, and it was meant to be kind of like a synthesis of the other 4.
Ooh.
So we'd be tested on the 4 major topics, and the special topic that changed every year would be a dramatic presentation. Basically, we'd have to give a presentation, like an informative presentation that was also entertaining.
Oh my god, big Northern Ontario energy.
Yeah.
This is the geekiest thing in the world.
Yeah, I know. But my team was with my best friend Steph and 3 of our other friends. The membership changed a little bit every year. But in grade 11, we had our best team, and we won regionals and went to provincials.
Oh my god.
And the funny thing about that year was that the like special topic test thingy was designed and issued by my father.
I was wondering when he was going to come into this, honestly.
Oh, he was the soil guy. He taught everybody about soils every year. Because that's his thing. He does dirt.
Good, he's a dirt guy.
So he taught us how to dig soil pits and stuff. It was honestly, I think this shit is really cool because we literally got to go like trudging through wetlands, and we got to go into the woods, and we got to go on this one absolutely horrible field trip to Turkey Lake. When we went during black fly season.
Oh no.
And none of us had realized at the time that it was black fly season, because I think it was like beginning of September. We were like, why would there still be black flies? But there were black flies.
Oh god.
And none of us had anything protecting us, and we just got eaten alive, and it was horrible. We were miserable the whole time. And what would have otherwise been probably a pretty cool trip, where we were just like hiking through the woods and learning about stuff, but
black flies are horrible.
Yeah, if you're not from somewhere that has them, which means if you're not from Canada or Michigan.
Yeah.
We cannot describe to you how awful black flies are.
They're like mosquitoes, but worse, honestly.
They're tinier, and there's more of them. Because, like, usually if you're getting bit by a mosquito, there are at most 3 or 4 of them bothering you at once. With its black flies, it's, like, hundreds.
Yeah.
And they're everywhere.
Yeah. My mother is allergic, and it's, like, fine if she gets 1 bite, but you never get 1 bite, you get, like, 70. So it's, like, there are black flies when she's around. She starts, like, inflating.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
So... And then we were the only team ever to win regionals 2 years in a row.
Oh, congratulations.
But unfortunately, in grade 12, I couldn't go to provincials because it just so happened that the provincial competition was the same weekend as the weekend that Cats opened, and I was also Cats.
Hoping you were going to say that!
In retrospect, I made the wrong choice.
Yes. Well, did you?
Yeah, I did. Cats is bad. I should have just been like, this musical sucks. But at that point, it was like, I had been rehearsing for months. I was like, I can't, it would be so... It was the worst. That was the worst decision. I hated having to make it at all, because it was like, I've been doing Envirothon for 4 years at this point. This is like the coolest thing to me.
But then we wouldn't have those great photos of you in Cats, so...
Yeah, those great photos of me in a leotard. Or unitard, sorry. It's a unitard, because it's my whole body.
Your whole body.
A spandex
those are
unitard.
Important.
They had to use the pattern for the ladies' unitard for me, because I have wide hips.
The booty. Cat booty.
Yeah, so that was the other thing that I guess was novel. Like, this is the thing. Nothing I did in high school is objectively cool. At the time, I thought I was cool. I was like, I'm doing musical theater. I'm in the Envirothon team.
See, I was very aware the entire time that nothing I was doing was cool, because the problem with being a teenager, the fundamental problem with being a teenager, is that it's not cool to do anything. Like,
nothing is cool.
The second you're, like, interested in something or good at something,
people just make fun of you.
Exactly, and it's like,
except if it's a sport.
Yeah,
if you're really into sports, then you get a pass.
Yeah, and if you're really good at like dressing and looking not like a goblin,
oh my god,
then that's also cool.
Our teacher says that the clubs we take part in, the books we read, the television we see, and a lot of other things help us to find ourselves. I guess she's right.